Good evening. Welcome to episode 54 of a weekly gaming news show. I'm Todd, as always, with my best man over here, good friend Trenell.
Best man, good friend, sure. Whichever you prefer. I don't want to overstep my boundaries. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's post E3, and there's no news. No,
it's like the news vacuum, right? It's like and
gone. Yeah. So we're back to. We're back to what's it called? An hour and 20-minute episodes, as opposed to the marathon of a podcast we had last week.
Last week was Lord of the Weekly Gaming News Show.
Yo, that was a doozy, man. I did not think it was gonna go that long, and I'm actually that was like an endurance for me too. Like I was like surprised that we actually managed to do that without passing out from like exhaustion. I've never talked about one topic for like that amount of time in my entire life.
It's nuts, but. It was a good time. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And most importantly, we got you guys the news, right?
Right. We got the news to you, and more importantly, we got our opinions to you. And if you left a comment or left us anything in the comment section, we got back to you. So because we like to discuss things like this. So we're gonna go ahead and get into episode 54. It is June 25th. Sorry, it's the 25th of June. And it's hot outside, but that's neither here or there.
Actually, it's a little cooler than it was a couple of days ago.
Really? I was inside a couple of days ago, but I was outside today. It was burning, scorching.
Yeah, it could be worse. We could be in Arizona cooking eggs on the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He's in Arizona right now, and he is dying. He is dying over there.
More power to him, man.
Yeah, that's a brave man.
I know we're the tropical people, but that's not tropical.
No, not at all. That's the desert. All right, so let's go ahead and cool off with the weekly icebreaker. If you're new to the podcast, the weekly icebreaker is just a question that we ask of each other to get a sense of where we are on certain gaming topics mostly, but sometimes we like to venture out and talk about other things as well, like movies, comic books, stuff related to the fictional world. And today we're going to do a fan favorite, What You Playing? This is like volume 4 of the What You Playing. What are you playing?
every few weeks, every month, 6 weeks or so, we want to go back and say, hey, are you still playing?
Are you still playing Destiny?
Yeah, are you still playing Destiny? That's right.
That should be the question. Is you still playing Destiny, Todd? But yeah, so what you playing?
I'm not really playing Destiny. Like I said, once a week I try to do a clan event just so I don't get booted, so I can still remain active. But that's the only time I get on. I don't feel any reason to be playing that game at this point. To be quite honest, I'm at a bit of a quagmire. So I want to play games, but I have so much to catch up on. I don't know what to play.
Yeah, don't know where to start.
I'm not really playing anything. When I've been getting time, I played a lot of Overwatch during the end of the year anniversary event. I played Speedrunners, man. That game is super fun.
That was a free game, Games for Gold, right?
Right, this past month. Yep, it's so fun. If you haven't played it, it's basically Form 4 side-scroll platform racer, and you just race around the track,
fucking dope,
causing havoc. It's fun. So I played that. I've been playing that a little bit, and I mean that's about it. And I got baseball, so I've been playing baseball.
Okay. The show?
Yeah, MLB The Show. Yeah, it was on sale for $40 right before E3.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm not paying full price for that.
Not paying full price. Bookie, a man of his word. As far as I'm concerned, I've kind of been in the same realm where I've been wanting to like catch up on the backlog, but not really knowing where to start. A couple of days ago, I think this was like maybe like Friday night. I started playing Metroid Prime 2 because with the announce of the 4th one coming out for the Nintendo Switch, I really want to finish that the trilogy. I have the Prime trilogy that came out on the Wii, and now I'm playing it on my Wii U. And I remember to a certain degree why I stopped playing that game. The fucking it's uncomfortable as fuck, dude. Like I don't know if you've ever tried to play a first-person shooter with like, and there's like platforming and all types of stuff in Metroid, but it's like holding the Wiimote. It's just not comfortable for me.
Really?
No, not at all. I have to find a position to put the Wiimote in my room where I'm not like bending my freaking like wrist like
so you
all
can't
the time.
Can't play it with a classic controller.
No, it's for it was a Wii game. It's a Wii title. The Metroid Prime trilogy is a Wii title. Even though the first Metroid Prime was, I think Prime 1 was a GameCube game, and it allowed for GameCube controller support, but the Prime Trilogy just utilized the motion controls of the Wii titles, like all across the board.
Right.
So, unfortunately, I've been trying to deal with that, and I really want to finish those games. So that's one thing that I've been playing. Also, of course, I'm still playing Sonic games during my countdown to Sonic Mania, and I'm gonna plug my giveaway because I'm actually still doing a giveaway. I'm gonna give away 3 copies of Sonic Mania on release day. Details are in like a video that I put on my personal channel. I'll have a link to it. Click it if you want. It doesn't matter.
Free stuff.
Free stuff. Yeah, it's a chance to win. And that's really all I've been doing is like attempting to tackle the backlog while not actually tackling the backlog.
I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put out a vote. I'm going to list about 5 games that I need to play. Mass Effect, Last of Us, Uncharted, Rise of the Tomb Raider, XCOM 2. And I'm going to put it out to the vote somewhere. And you guys tell me what I should play. Because I'm right now, I don't know.
I mean, I will never tell anybody not to play Rise of the Tomb Raider. That shit's dope.
Yeah,
I don't think I beat that game either.
Yeah,
actually,
I got about halfway through it, and I didn't finish it. I don't know. It's sitting there. I have it on my hard drive, ready to finish it up. But
the one that I'm ashamed of is what's it called? Mafia 4.
Mafia 3. Don't
Mafia
talk
3
to me about that. You're ashamed. At least you saw the title screen. I still haven't seen the title screen.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's shameful right there.
I've yet to see the title screen. Bought it at release. Pre-ordered it even.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I pre-ordered, bought it at release, was super psyched, and then put it down. That was bad times.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was our weekly icebreaker. If you want to submit questions to us, you can do so via our social media. Just use the hashtag weekly icebreaker and submit questions to us that you would like for us to answer during the beginning of the podcast. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. You can leave it anywhere. Just use the hashtag just to make sure that we get it. So with that, we can go ahead and move into the next segment, which is our quick hits. And the quick hits is a series of short news stories that we want to talk about that don't necessarily deserve a deep dive. Any stories that you guys submit to us, which you can totally do, will most likely make it into the quick hits section. So go ahead, and any stories that you would like for us to talk about or cover or give our opinions on, definitely leave those to us in our on our social media as well. And we're more than happy to give our opinions on it. So let's go ahead and jump into the first story. Boogie, what do we got?
We got another major studio jumping into the esports arena.
Oh, wow.
NBC, through their NBC Sports Network, they're going to be broadcasting or launching a 2-on-2 international Rocket League tournament, which is interesting. But it basically it starts July 22nd with open regional qualifiers, and then the grand finals are going to be broadcast on NBC networks, NBC Sporting Networks on August 26th and 27th in the United States, or in North America, no, in the U.S. It's NBC Sports Network, NBCSN, and then Sci-Fi for everywhere else in the rest of the world. So, yeah, Rocket League tournament 2-on-2. NBC Sports Network, and there's yet another game, another network that's throwing their hat in. So now we've got ESPN, we've got the Turner Broadcasting. So what's the TBS, TNT, and what's the other? They have the outdoor. It used to be I can't think of the name. They have a third station that they show it on. It's like their outdoor or extreme.
Was that like the Travel Channel or some shit?
No, I forgot what it's called. But
I don't know.
Yeah, they have a third channel that they use. But yeah,
man, that's crazy. Like that's just these people going where the money is,
Right. And I find it interesting that there's not direct competition. It's not like their own Madden League or their own Overwatch League. It's a whole nother game. And if that's going to be the case, I mean, we can see these popping up all over the place. Gears of War might land somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Counter-Strike's already on TNT, but what's another game? Rainbow Six might land somewhere. For Honor is becoming ultra competitive if they ever could get it balanced. Might land somewhere. So I mean, yeah, if that's the case, I mean, every network is going to have their game their go-to game for their E-League section, and it's interesting and it's exciting at the same time.
Yeah, it's super interesting, and Rocket League is like the embodiment of hype.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll definitely get some viewers out of that.
And what's great about Rocket League, it is cross-play. It's cross-platform play. You can play PS4 PC, you can play Xbox PC, you can play Nintendo PC, you can play Xbox Nintendo. So
right.
They could just mash it all over. So you can play PC, Xbox, Nintendo. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. You just play. That's apparently the goal of the developers. And I'm sure it'll help them out, and it'll help any of these E-Leagues E-Leagues out immensely.
Yeah, I mean, they're just waiting for PlayStation or Sony to play ball on that. We'll see.
Yep, we will see.
We will see. Let's jump into the next quick hit. What we got?
Blizzard and Twitch struck a deal. This, again, is along the esports line, but they struck. Blizzard signed a 2-year exclusive agreement to broadcast their tournaments for Overwatch, Hearthstone, StarCraft, and what's the other game? Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm.
Okay.
Yeah. So those 4 games, their competitive matches and such and events are going to be broadcast exclusively on Twitch's network. 20 competitions, and on top of that, they're going to be given loot. Right now, this month, if you're a Twitch Prime subscriber, which means if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you're a Twitch Prime subscriber,
mm-hmm.
You get a gold Overwatch loot box for free, and in August and October, you get 10 more. Between August and October, you're going to get 10 more free loot boxes for Overwatch. You just have to link your Twitch account to your Blizzard account, and the box shows up, which is cool. And just one point, if you're like me and you have Overwatch on more than one platform, you get the box for each platform. So
that's dope.
When I signed up once, I got the box on my Xbox, and I also got it on the PlayStation. So that was cool. But yeah, so there's that.
Is that it? Do we want to move on to the next one?
That's all I have to say about that, yeah.
Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next quick hit. And we talked about this story a little while ago. The makers of Parappa the Rapper went the Kickstarter route and tried to fan fund their next project, which was codename Rap Rabbit. Mm-hmm. And apparently it has missed its Kickstarter goal, which is very unfortunate.
Pretty badly, even.
Yeah, they didn't even really get all that close. And we actually talked about it again during the podcast because if you remember, there was a lot of well, I wouldn't say a lot of controversy, but there were talks amongst the backers about the rewards and how there seemed to be not a lot going for the Nintendo consoles. Like you needed to get to a very high goal in order to get it on the Switch. Then they went back and revamped their stretch goals. Right.
So yeah, they had these outrageous stretch goals to get it to Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. It was originally slated for PlayStation 4 and PC, mm-hmm. and then they had stretch goals for levels, difficulties, online support, online multiplayer, and the stretch goals for Nintendo and Xbox, especially Nintendo Switch, were outrageous. I think their total fund request was like 1.1 million, and the Nintendo Switch fund request was like over 5 million. It was something ridiculous like that. So yeah, that caused a bit of a controversy, but I mean they didn't get close. They made 1/5, 204,000 out of a 1.1 million goal. So I mean, that hurts.
That hurts. That hurts pretty bad, mm-hmm. especially when you think something like that is, the next big thing. And mm-hmm. I have to think that they went along with this project because of the reception of the re-release for Parappa the Rapper.
Right.
It seemed to, gain a lot of interest. They may have over-exceeded, how much they expected to sell. So they thought that this may have, gone a long way. No word on whether or not they're going to seek funding a different way. I don't know if they've made an official statement yet. When was the actual deadline? Do we know that?
You know what? I should have known that. I didn't. I don't. But I do know they missed it.
Yeah, they missed it. They missed it. Yeah. I didn't
check I looked at the Kickstarter, but I just didn't write down or note the date.
Yeah, but with the deadline being missed, I really do hope that they can seek funding another way.
Yeah, traditionally, get a publisher or somebody to back them,
Or just
some
reach
investors.
reach out to some investors or something. I'm not exactly sure. I know that there was another game that had a similar situation where they didn't meet their Kickstarter goal, but then was actually like funded by a publisher or something. I think it was like wasn't it that game from Concept, the one that we both have and we stopped playing.
Oh yeah, the Earthlock. Is it Earthlock?
No, not Earthlock.
No.
Oh god, the one. Oh god, from the guy behind Mega Man.
Oh, Mighty Number 9.
That guy, but not that game.
What game?
Hold on, was it Mighty? I don't know. I can't remember.
But I remember him trying to kickstart was Mighty Number 9.
It was another one, Project Red or something like that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but yeah, they actually they sought funding from a different source and was able to get the money together to make it a thing. But I don't know. We talk about this all the time with Kickstarter projects, is that it's never a guarantee.
Right.
So hopefully they either find funding somewhere else or give those people their money back. I don't know.
Right. Well, with Kickstarter, you don't get charged until they meet their goal. So if they don't make their goal, you never get charged.
Okay. So it might be the end. Yeah. I have a picture up on my screen with a whole bunch of swag. We will be getting no rabbit beanies. I'm sorry.
No rabbit beanies. That's awesome.
Nope.
All right. And let's move on to the last quick hit here then.
The last quick hit. All right, what we got?
Steam Summer Sale.
Oh shit!
it is live. It started on the 22nd, runs through the 5th, and man, they got some deals. I've had to freeze my credit cards because I really I can't buy any more games. We just talked about this 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, where I'm so backed up. I can't keep up. I'm intimidated by all the games that I need to play.
Yep.
And I can't just keep piling on. I mean, I really can't. And it's unfortunate for me because there's a ton of games on there that I would be really into playing. But
yeah, I mean, I had a couple of games on my wish list, a couple of indie titles that I went ahead and just picked up because they were both 30 and 40% off.
Right.
So I picked those up. I'm gonna try and restrain myself this year, but man, if I see something, I'm gonna go ahead and get it, man. Especially if it's co-op, something that I can play with somebody. Yeah.
I mean, right now, if some of the AAA titles are ridiculous. I mean, 50% off of Dishonored 2 that just came out this past holiday season.
Yeah.
60% off Dark Souls 3. 2/3 or 67% off of XCOM 2, which is a big one considering they got that big update coming out in August.
Right.
So I mean, they got some killer deals on it. And the indie titles, I mean, Abzu was $5 or $4. I mean, there's tons of great stuff on there. It's ridiculous. Oh, and another one, Shadow of Mordor, is $10 for the game.
Oh god, and that's that. Oh, and you know what? I might actually get that solely because when I had it on the Xbox, I did not have the DLC.
Oh yeah.
So I may go ahead and get that for $10.
Right. I bought it last year during the Xbox Summer Sale. It was $15 for the game and the DLC. The Game of the Year edition was $14.99 when Microsoft had their Xbox Summer Sale.
Right.
So, but I mean, the deals are absurd. It's wow.
God, it's Gabe, man. He knows how to please the people.
Yeah.
And it's this shit is ass backwards, man. In what society do we spend more money on games than we actually have time to play? That is just the craziest shit ever. Gabe figured it out and
just stack them up.
Just stacking. Just making that cake. Getting caked up out here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was our quick hits. Again, if you would like to submit us stories, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Hit us up. Just let us know, hey, can you guys cover this story? Most likely we'll be, we'll be interested in doing so. But let's go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is our top 5 stories for the week. And in this segment, we deep dive into whatever's going on in the gaming landscape. And, being post E3, and we mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, there wasn't a whole lot of news, but there are some stories that we definitely want to talk to you guys about. and some we might actually be reluctant to talk to you about because of the subject matter. So that is a perfect segue into our first story, which is about Boogie's favorite game.
Yeah, my favorite game, Pokemon Go. All right, Pokemon Go. So first off, there's an update that went out. The Pokemon Go update went out for iOS and Android this past week. I think it went out on the 20th. They updated the gym. They added push notifications for the gym. They added raid battles, which is kind of cool, I guess, if you're into that. There's new items. There's a tab and added more visual indicators for the Pokemon, Pokestops, I should say.
Pokestops, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, Pokemon Go's got an update. I've heard around that, and I went to the what's it called, Silph Road. That's the Reddit page for all things Pokemon Go. And people there are uber excited, especially for the raids. I don't know. I put the story in simply because it's summer.
Yeah.
The kids are out of school. This is where Pokemon got its push last year, released last year in July. And all the kids were out of school, and this is what they did. And I see it as they're pushing this big update. They added the legendary Pokemon. They got the raids. They updated gyms. It's their push to try to recapture that magic.
Yeah, trying to recapture that lightning in a bottle, because when it appeared on the scene, like, it could not be contained. Like, everybody was outside. I think there was like news stories that said that people walked more miles than they had ever walked in like the history of whatever. Like, it was a lot going on with Pokemon Go. I mean, we went like a good like few months without, we couldn't go a few months without actually talking about it in some capacity. Whether it was like new stuff being added, cheaters being penalized, with the hacking or whatnot, or just people being unsafe, with it, and like getting into car accidents because they want to do it while they're driving.
Exactly.
So
yeah. So I mean, it's out there. If you're a Pokemon Go, let us know if you're still playing it. And I mean, they've added a lot to it. They've got that little Pokemon
Gen 2. Yeah, they've been at that. 2.
They got the little Pokemon dongle thing that came out. What's it called? The Pokemon.
I don't remember.
The one you wear on your wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they released the app for the iPhone. And apparently, there's a third-party one that's a little more expensive. But what it does, unlike the one that's the official one that you got to tap, it automatically capture the Pokemon for you. So it just starts chucking your Pokeballs at them until it captures it for you. You don't have to do anything. You still have to walk around, but it'll capture it for you. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Pokemon fan and a Pokemon Go fan, I should say, and you're still into this, things may be looking up for you.
Yep.
Unless
up and up.
You're a Poke cheater.
What's happening to the cheaters?
So Poke cheaters are
Stop saying Poke cheaters.
So if you're capturing your Pokemon using third-party apps, apparently the most popular one is a geolocation app that you log into your Pokemon Go account and you can put yourself anywhere in the world and capture Pokemon from there. Those Pokemon are going to be marked with a red mark, a red slash in them to let you know that you obtain that particular monster not on the up and up. And apparently there's going to be an issue to where they're not going to behave as expected. Now, Niantic wasn't very detailed in what this meant, but you're definitely going to see a red slash through your Pokemon in your Pokedex or in your Pokemon, wherever you call it. And it's not going to behave properly. So again, that could be anything from not being able to use them in a gym to a Pikachu acting like it's something else. So
yeah, if it's any indication from the real games, and this will actually be a real cool nod to the actual Pokemon games, when you capture a Pokemon that's above a certain level, depending on how many badges you have, it won't necessarily listen to you. Like it'll like when you tell it to attack, it may do something like, oh, it's loafing off, or if you want to attack it, you want to use it to attack something, it'll use a different attack instead. So if they wanted to make any kind of nod to the original games, that would be the what they do. They just basically have the Pokemon not listen to you.
Well, I heard this idea, and this is the idea of what cheaters should go through if they have illegal Pokemon in their midst.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from another podcast I listened to. It's called The Morning Stream. But they said that the ill-gotten Pokemon should just, when you shut down Pokemon, just start eating your real Pokemon.
Oh God. No, that would be terrible. Awesome. What would be cool is if it like ate all of like your food or something. Like if it just like, oh yeah, Pikachu got hungry, so it like ate all your freaking raspberries. Yeah,
that would be awesome too.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I mean, because it's like you can't stop cheaters, man. Cheaters gonna cheat. They're
gonna cheat, right? But I mean, when they start, you know, obviously with the gyms there was an issue, but now they have these competitive raids that'll probably be ultra competitive, and you got people that's out there making their runs, taking their laps to level up their Pokemon and catch the good ones, and you got somebody else sitting at home just clicking randomly on places in the map. Yeah. You know, they're sitting in freaking Austin, Texas, and capturing Pokemon in Thailand. You know, it's just not fair. So
yeah, definitely not fair. But yeah, I mean, they gotta punish him somehow. And I remember we did a story a little while ago when they handed out the ban hammer to a lot of players. But you know, this is just as good. I remember there was actually games, and I think Pokemon the Ruby and Sapphire games had a function similar where all of the characters, the dialogue was changed at least in the English version, and it would be as if like you were like you're just like a scumbag. Like every so often, the you know, the characters just remind you that you're a fucking scumbag and that you're really? Playing a hacked or ill-gotten game. And some games would just stop working. They were like, yeah, this is as far as you can get. This is as far as we'll allow you to go based on the version of the game that you have. It'll just be a cutoff point.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to be creative when it comes to cheaters, man. And I think this is definitely this is a good thing. Yeah, because they want you to play, but if you're gonna cheat, then fine.
They don't want you to play.
Your Pikachu now has chronic depression. Here you go.
Your Pikachu has chronic depression. That's awesome. All right.
But yeah, so that was our first story. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the second story, and this is actually something that I am excited about. And the not Pokemon, but Sega For Ever just recently launched. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it is a free service that allows you to download and play Sega games on your Android or iOS device. I was following these guys on Twitter before they actually launched it, and and it was really cool because they kept just like posting like little like pictures and snippets and tidbits of you know, Sega titles or whatever, and it got me like really excited. I was really looking forward to what they had in mind, and then they released a video showing off, you know, what they were planning. And yeah, it's basically Sega, and not just Sega Genesis, but it is like Sega
all the way up until the Dreamcast.
Yeah, all the way until the Dreamcast, available on your iOS device, which is really cool. The only thing is that it does come with ads.
Right.
But if you want it ad free, it'll be $1.99 per title.
Per game. Right. And yeah. I don't think that's outrageous. I mean,
no, not at all.
Basically, it's you get a full extended demo, right? So if you're really into the game and you want it without ads, pop-ups, or whatever you're doing, I haven't tried one. I downloaded what did I download? I downloaded Sonic. And I downloaded two games. I downloaded Sonic and something else. I have to look at my phone, but yeah, I don't have a problem with that particular model at all. Me neither. I think that's a pretty good model because you have the option to pay, or I have the option not to pay. I mean, you're going to get ads. Everything can't be for free.
Yeah, everything can't be for free. And what I'm curious about is how frequent are the ads? I mean,
yeah,
you know, if it's not, you know, super frequent, I can't see it like being necessarily a terrible thing. But they're using like a mixture of like emulation techniques and like porting, because some of these games are already on iOS. Like like the entire Sonic 1 through CD is on iOS. So if you already have it, then you don't have to worry about it. It's still ad free.
Right.
But yeah, this is nothing but a good thing, and it just allows for newer generations to get their hands on some of these classic titles. As of right now, no, go ahead.
No, again, I want you to finish because I might ask you a question afterwards.
Okay, so as of right now, the only games that they have available that I saw were Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Comic Zone, and there was two more.
Fantasy Star 2.
Fantasy Star 2
and Kid Chameleon.
Yeah, and Kid Chameleon. So those are the 4 games that were put onto the Sega For Ever, and I'm believing that some of the other games that were already out there, like the Crazy Taxi, there's like some Crazy Taxi games out there. They'll most likely be rolled over into the Sega For Ever model, which is actually really cool, man. I'm a fan of like these old school titles. So but the thing is, I'm not a fan of like phone controls, touchscreen controls.
I'm not a huge fan of that. I do know that they said they'll be releasing new titles every 2 weeks, which is cool. They didn't say how many. I like it. The only thing I would like to see is if they aggregate it into an arcade. So you download one app, that's the Sega For Ever app, and all the games are just in there that you can. I mean, you download them as you want to play them, but you don't have to search the app stores for it.
Right, you have to search the app store. Yeah, that would be the best thing. It might be something that's coming in the future because they have something similar to that already available on Steam. Yeah, so like when you buy a Sega Classic, it just gets added to your Sega Classics library, right? And then when you load the library, like all the games are there, and it's like this interactive like '90s fucking bedroom. It's really cool. You can just pick the games off a shelf and stuff.
I would love to see this come to the consoles too.
Oh yes, definitely
would do that. So I told you I had a question.
The only thing is like running ads on a console. That I don't think anybody would be down for that. The $199 price for the games though, I'm all for it.
Right. Right. I mean, if they bring it to console between $2 and $4, I mean, from $199 to $399, I think that'd be a decent price point without ads. That's fine.
Yeah, no, because I don't think I can ever
ads on consoles. No, thanks. Don't open that. Do not open that Pandora's box.
No,
please.
You will piss off a lot of people with that.
So my question for you is, what Sega? I mean, we know about the Sonics. You got all your Sonics, but what Sega Classic would you like to see?
Oh man, see, and the thing is, like, there probably isn't any Sega Classics that I don't already own in some capacity. So, I mean, I'm just going to name off a couple of fan favorites of mine. Of course, the Streets of Rage series. Totally awesome. Anybody that's a fan of beat-em-ups is probably where it started. Vector Man, which was kind of like Sega's answer to Mega Man. It's a 2D, platform shooter. It's really cool with a lot of cool power-ups and very cool music. I can't really think of any more off the top of my head. Trying to think of some more obscure games that I really liked. I can't think of any, but I mean, I personally, I have the Sega Genesis collection or the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection on the Xbox 360. And then like once the games were like, before that collection actually came out, Sega was releasing the games like individually as part of the Sega Vintage collection. So I have tons of collections of Sega games.
Sega games, yeah.
Yeah, Toe Jam and Earl. I could actually see that's something I could actually get down on mobile because the controls it's a really simplistic game. At least the first one is. So it doesn't require a whole lot of precision. The thing with a lot of old school Sega games is the precision it requires. You know, like if you're playing Sonic and you're playing a platformer, like you're gonna freaking fall off a ledge if you can't freaking like keep yourself from falling. It's pixel perfect. It's not like these newer games where there's leeway and like controller delay. Like I can't deal with it. I can feel it. I can feel when there's a delay when it comes to games like that. So that's why I don't really get down with mobile controls. But there is controller support. There's like there's third party devices that you can plug into the phone and press the button. So there is controller support. But this is dope, man. So,
and I know when I saw this, I saw them Master System. They showed they're gonna have Sega Master System games, like the original Sega 8-bit joint. Yep. And first thing I thought about, I want My Hero. That was my joint. It was a Sega Master System card game. It was a beat 'em up. It was a dude walking around town beating up dudes to get his girlfriend back, and you get his girlfriend back. You were my hero. But I remember playing that game so much, so many times. That's one game I would love to see. Another one that I enjoyed was Hang On, the motorcycle racing game, Motorcycle GP. I would love to see that. But yeah, and there's another game, it was a vampire game, and I can't for the world of me think of the name of it.
On the Master System?
Yeah, it was on the Master System. That also was because remember the Sega Master System had cartridges, but also had those little cards.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so that it was another one of those card games. I cannot remember the name of that game to save my life right now. But yeah, I would love that as well.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Those games are ones that I put a lot of time and I played. And Shinobi, if they can bring a Shinobi.
Oh yeah, Shinobi's dope. Shinobi's a good. I only really mess with Shinobi 3 though. That's my shit.
That's the only one. Yeah,
that's the only one I really mess with. Yeah, but God, that music. Oh, so good, so good. Also, Golden Axe is really cool too.
Oh yeah, Golden Axe. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah,
see,
the original Golden
Genesis
Axe
was all about beat 'em ups, man.
Yep,
beat 'em up paradise over there. Yeah, so go ahead and try it out. I'm gonna try it out myself. I mean, I already own Sonic, so I plan on downloading Comic Zone and seeing exactly how it feels. I've never beaten that game. Comic Zone is fucking hard.
I don't think I've ever played it, to be quite honest.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I know what it is. I just never played it.
Yeah, it's a side scroller beat 'em up. It's actually really cool. It's just that shit's hard, dude. Well, good luck. And yeah, good luck and good gaming for all the Sega fanboys out there, which I am probably one of.
Yep. Yeah, I am too. I do miss Sega as a console because I had them. I had Master System, I had Genesis, I had Saturn. And I've told
you were too much of a fan. If you bought the Saturn, you was.
I had Saturn. I had Dreamcast. I had a Sega CD. I had all. I didn't
have the CD or the Saturn. I skipped both of those and stuck with the Genesis throughout that time, and then I got the Dreamcast.
That's very good of you because you didn't miss anything on the Saturn or the Genesis.
Nope.
I mean the Sega CD, I should say.
Yep. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. What we got?
We've got a very interesting story. And this is probably one of Sony's worst nightmares, if you ask me. But Sony PC exclusive, Final Fantasy XIV. So apparently there was an interview with, what is his name?
Oh, God, you're going to make me butcher this?
Not Naoki Yoshida.
Okay, there you go.
Naoki Yoshida. So it was an interview with him. He's one of the developers or key developers on Final Fantasy XIV, and he says he would love to bring Final Fantasy XIV to Xbox and Nintendo Switch. He didn't even say or, he said and, but he said on one condition, it has to be you have to have cross-platform play. And what he's saying, he wants all of the players to be able to play with each other, regardless of what platform they're on. And as we now know, Microsoft, Nintendo is all in, and when Microsoft's all in, that means PC is all in.
Yep.
Right? Because and the developers ultimately have the control on the PC as to who they can talk to. It's just the receiving end has to be receptive, and Microsoft and Nintendo is there. So, and Sony is not at this point, at least not for all of the consoles. And his reason is he's saying, look, especially these massive multiplayer online games, they're huge. He would like to be able to say, hey, I can push an update one time and get it across all systems
at the same time.
And when communities on one particular platform start to dwindle, that they can be okay because they have other people playing on other platforms. It just makes a larger community, a longer lasting community than just it being on a single platform.
Instead of just like having three fragmented communities, you have one collective.
Exactly. And
the funny thing is, I think the previous Final Fantasy MMO, I think it was it 13?
Yeah, I think it was 13. 13-2.
Yeah. I can't remember, but it was the previous one that actually came out on Xbox. So I was very surprised that this one didn't come out on Xbox. And I don't think any of them have ever been on the Nintendo, but it looks like Square Enix and Nintendo have been getting along lately, because there's a lot of history between Square Enix before they were even Square Enix and Nintendo, with Final Fantasy VII and Nintendo's refusal to move away from cartridges. So there's a lot of history there, and it looks like they're trying to mend that relationship and bring Nintendo back into the fold as far as Final Fantasy is concerned, because they've been out of the loop for quite a long time, and Cloud's inclusion in Super Smash
Super
Brothers
Smash. Yep.
may have been the beginning of a relationship that they want to have with each other,
Right.
which I'm all about it.
Right. And again, and we'll talk about this later on, but I mean, the cross-platform play is going to be a big deal going forward, because, and we've talked about this along for many of episodes. There are less games out there. Less games. They're bigger games. They're more impressive games. The games last longer, but ultimately there are less games. So, well, I just found that super interesting.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting because, you know, this is a very popular MMO. You know, it has its own backstory with the original Final Fantasy XIV. A Realm Reborn is kind of like the revamp of it. You know, they kind of just like started from scratch and just revamped it. And there was actually an expansion that came out not too long ago, a couple of days ago, and has been glued to it, which is why, really? Yeah, it was probably why I haven't been playing too much. You know,
what's the other game?
Games with friends.
Yeah, Neo.
Yeah, I haven't been playing any Neo because has just been on Final Fantasy for like the past like few days, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down at all.
Right.
Yeah, so a very, very popular game with a lot of momentum going at the moment.
Right.
Cross-platform play between, you know, Xbox and the Nintendo Switch, and I'm actually curious as to if it's even powerful enough to handle it. I mean, I'm assuming it is.
Yeah,
if he's making claims like this out of the bat.
Yeah, I've actually, this is a while ago. I have it. I had it on PC. I downloaded it just to see what it was about, and it doesn't seem like it's extremely graphically intense where you need a super powerful machine to run it. It's all about the content with that particular game. So yeah, I can imagine Nintendo Switch should be able to run it just fine.
Yeah, and that would just be like a super boost for the Switch right now. To have like a super popular, like ongoing current MMO on that. That would be dope.
That would be, yeah, definitely.
Yep. And then you don't have to, you know, worry about which friend has what platform because you can all play together.
Exactly.
Nothing but a good thing, in my opinion. Sony just needs to play ball, and this is like the 6th or 7th instance of, you know, developers wanting cross-platform play, but Sony is just not playing ball.
Because right now Sony is the market leader. They don't have a reason to, and this is why they won't do it, because they can say, hey, look, you can play Final Fantasy XIV on PlayStation. You can't play it on Xbox, and you can't play it on Nintendo Switch. Now, if they open up cross-platform play, they say, well, you can play it anywhere. They're starting to slowly lose that exclusivity advantage. The only exclusives that the only advantage they will have when it comes to exclusives would be either first-party games or just when they cut deals for exclusive content. Well, you can get this armor piece only on PlayStation. And a lot of times that's not enough to sway a person's decision.
Right. Yeah, if I could choose between a few exclusive pieces of armor or being able to play the same game across multiple platforms, like excluding PlayStation, I'm gonna go with the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with all the platforms.
You can play with all your friends, whether they have Xbox, Switch, or PC. I mean, like if they open cross-platform play for this for Xbox and Nintendo, you can play with all.
Yeah. I can play with
You can pop open, put it on your Xbox and play with all, and that's amazing. And I think it is cross-play with PS4 to PC, so you can still play with all right now. I believe. I have to check into that, but still, and this isn't the only game that's said it. This isn't the only game that's been pushing for it, and you know, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. See if Sony wants to play ball or not. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And that is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the game that was bundled along with Infinite Warfare for the $90 price point, is being released on its own. Right. And this is something that I predicted a long time ago.
Right when they first announced
it, I was like, "There's no way that they are gonna keep this game attached to Infinite Warfare, especially during all of the negative, press that it was getting. Like a lot of people were not super hyped about Infinite Warfare at all.
No, yeah, it was probably one of the worst selling Call of Duty games in recent memory.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, I bought the bundle. I didn't play Call of Duty 4. I played maybe one level. I finished Infinite Warfare. I played a couple of online matches in Infinite Warfare, and that's a shit show. But yeah, yeah, you knew it had to come. It makes sense. It's coming out. It's actually out the 27th, so this Tuesday.
Okay.
And it's only on the PlayStation 4 this Tuesday. There's no word on when it would be out for Xbox or PC. I'm guessing 30 days. Because typically with the Call of Duty stuff, it comes out 30 days early on PlayStation. Like the map packs come out 30 days earlier, and so on and so forth. So it'll eventually come on Xbox and PC in July. Yeah. And when you look at the trailer, it specifically says first on PS4. So
so yeah, that's everywhere. Yeah. Obviously, they'd be very stupid to make this an exclusive. Right. That would be the biggest mistake ever. But yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, I have it. I played it. The graphics have been significantly upgraded. It does look a lot pretty. And this is like one of the epic Call of Duty games as far as the story goes. This was the game everybody went crazy about.
Yeah. It was my first Call of Duty game.
So I mean, it has that nostalgia feeling. I don't know. I think, and we talked about this off air, I think it's too late for this game, to be quite honest.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that they should have done. At launch. I mean, maybe not at launch. Of course, they wanted. Of course, they wanted people to buy Infinite Warfare, and tagging a Call of Duty 4 remaster is a way to do that. Right. So I understand, why they didn't do it initially. But I mean, damn, it's been a while. We already have the next Call of Duty cycle, starting.
Yep.
It's already been announced. We saw the footage at E3.
Yep.
It's coming. So I really don't think. I think that anybody who wanted this remaster already, paid the price and sucked it up, took one for the team, and bought Infinite Warfare with it.
Right.
I think that was the case.
Right, and I honestly think that they sandbagged it because they saw early on that all of the negative press Infinite Warfare was getting, they wanted to try to push as many copies as possible, and they figured they'll get a fair amount of community that would buy Infinite Warfare just because they wanted to Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
So they banked on that. They probably cashed in. They cashed in at least once. But it's Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, I mean this just begs the question: is like how many of these these awkward situations are gamers going to allow for Activision to put them through? Is like everybody knows that they wanted a Call of Duty 4 remaster. It's probably one of the most popular Call of Duties to ever grace consoles. Outside of Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, and Black Ops 2 is a hugely popular one.
Yeah, so it's like everybody wanted it. And you tethered it with the game that was getting negative reception,
right?
At during the announcement trailer. Do you remember how many dislikes that thing had?
Oh yeah.
It's probably one of the top 10 disliked videos on YouTube, based on the viewer count.
Yep.
So the reception was there. Nobody wanted Infinite Warfare. Everybody wanted the Call of Duty remaster. So is this something that's gonna just keep going, or is Activision gonna be able to sucker people into buying their games just over and over again? I don't know, man.
To be quite honest, I think Call of Duty has reached the end of life. We'll see how World War II performs, but what's it been, 10 years now that has been every Call of Duty almost every year, and I mean,
I think they need a fucking break, man. Let some of these development companies work on other games. God damn.
I mean, if it weren't for Blizzard, I would say Activision was in trouble because they don't have anything other than Call of Duty. If you think about it, what else do they have?
I mean, they probably have or own the licenses to a lot of titles. I mean, we talked about this during the Activision developer spotlight,
right?
But I don't know, man. It just this was a very sneaky tactic that they used to get people to buy their game, and I wouldn't put it past them to have already had Modern Warfare remastered in the works and planned on releasing it separately, but then seeing what people didn't like in Infinite Warfare and then decided to bundle it together. Or maybe they had the $90 bundle, but then also you could just buy Modern Warfare Remaster for however much.
Right.
Like I think that might have been like a reaction, just like I think this return to World War II is a reaction
Yep.
from the immense popularity of Battlefield 1.
Well, I don't know about that, because the reason I say that is because they have 3 studios that develop the games, and it's like a 2 or 3 year cycle. So they would have started developing this not after Battlefield 1, but the year before Battlefield 1 came out.
Black Ops 3, was that it?
I think so. Yeah, Black Ops 3. Yeah, they would have started developing on it right after that. So,
I don't know.
I don't know. I just
think with the progression that we were going as far as the Call of Duty was concerned, to go, just like further and further with technology, wall jumping, all this jazz, for them to just go back to World War II. I don't know. To me, it seems like a response, because nobody knew exactly how popular Battlefield 1 was gonna be.
Right.
Because Battlefield had been doing like these huge, epic, technologically advanced. That's not a word, but those advanced, types of warfare, and then with them being popular with going back to the past, because everybody's been talking about, oh yeah, I miss just modern warfare, or I miss like classic warfare,
right.
And with them actually having the balls to go out and try it,
Simplify it, just made a big battle. It's super simple. It's no crazy weapons and gadgets and all.
Like I feel like they were ballsy for trying that at the time that they did, and I don't know. That's just me though. Yeah, it definitely paid off, and I feel like Call of Duty is chasing that high right now.
Right.
That's just my opinion though.
I don't know. Like you said, this is my opinion. It's a money grab. It's something people have wanted. I think it's too late considering where it's at and when it's at where it's at. They may pick up a good following because, again, it's summertime. It's right at the end of the summer. It's only $40. Some of the kids get out of school can pester their parents to get them a $40 game. It's a lot easier for them to get into it. But I just don't, considering with all of the competition that's out there, I don't. Yeah.
Just don't.
So let's move on from.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on, and this is going to be our last top 5 story. So Boogie, why don't you lead us on this one?
So last week, was it that we reported that Open 4 was taken down? They got a cease and desist from Take-Two.
Yep.
And they had to take down their modding tools. Well, Rockstar said, "Hey, Take-Two, don't do that." Essentially, so Rockstar jumped in and said, "Hey, we don't mind mods, but they have to be of a certain kind." Basically, what they said is that if you're going to mod the game, it has to be single player mods. They can't be applied to multiplayer online services. They can't use tools, files, libraries, and such that will impact multiplayer online play, and you can't import other IP, including Rockstar or other Take-Two IP, in that particular mod. So you're going to be able to get Open 4 mods. You just can't use them online in any of the online gaming, which is cool. I think it's kind of cool of Rockstar to come back and say, "Hey, it's our game. This is not what we want, Take-Two." But I understand where Take-Two was coming from, because they're trying to monetize the online multiplayer.
Right.
And when you try to do that, when you allow mods for online, you can do anything from stealing the stuff, or recreating the stuff that's for sale, like weapons and cars and such.
Aesthetics, clothes.
Or open up a backdoor, purposely or not, to allow people to game the online payment system to get unlimited whatever they want to get. So I can see where they're coming from, and I obviously see Rockstar's trying to appease to the community, say, "Hey, I know you guys make all types of stuff, and yeah, we want you to continue making stuff. Just do it properly. Don't steal IPs, and don't mess with our multiplayer."
Yeah, and Rockstar has always been a huge fan of the modding community. And last week we actually reported that there was a cease and desist put towards the GTA. What was that modding service? IV or whatever.
Open 4.
Oh, Open 4. Yeah, Open IV. What's it called? They're actually back up and running. Like everything is up and going. There hasn't been an official notice sent from the guys. over there. Not in the same way that they announced that the cease and desist was going down, but there was a recent update that went live.
Yep.
And the service is back up and running.
Right. It was like the day of or the day after they got.
I think it was the 23rd that
right.
the update went live.
Right. Yeah. I think what I'm saying, I think it was either the day of or the day after they were contacted by Rockstar.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. Again, if you go, I always say this, and I will continue to say this. At the end of the day, Take-Two is their IP, and they have the right to do what they want or block what they want. It's just good on Rockstar saying, "Hey, we want people to continue to play our games, but we just need to put some limits on them." I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. That's not a problem at all. I mean, because then why the hell would you even put it on PC if you wasn't going to be open to modding?
Right.
I mean, that's the modder's paradise right there, man.
And let me ask you, do any of these mods come on Xbox? Are there GTA mods on Xbox?
I mean, I'm sure that there are. I don't know if it's as accessible as it is on PC, but I'm sure there are. I'm not in that scene at all. I stopped playing GTA way before the freaking Xbox One and PS4 versions came out. Like, I don't even think Xbox One was out, and I was playing done with GTA. I was on I was still on the 360. I haven't played that game in freaking years, man. I don't know how. I mean, I guess
they still be pumping. They still
they do their own free DLC packs or whatever. I'm just like, Jesus. I'm done. I was done a long time ago, and I don't plan on getting back in at all ever.
He said ever.
I'm done, man. It's like shit. There's so many damn games out there, man. People still playing GTA 5. Like, come on now. I'm good.
To each his own, man. To each his own.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that was our top 5 stories for the week. Let us know what you guys think by leaving us a message either on our social media or in the comment section on YouTube or wherever you are consuming this media. Let us know what you think. Let's go ahead and get the discussion going. We like to argue with the people. Well, not argue, but we like to discuss things with you guys in the comment section. So debate me. Debate me in the comment section. Debate me in the comment section. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next segment. But before we do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, which is the New Challenger Discord, newchallenger.tv. If you're newly into Street Fighter V, or you want to get good at Injustice 2, or if you're planning on picking up Tekken 7, the New Challenger Discord is for you. Filled with lots of people that are actively playing the game and actively seeking knowledge, seeking new tech. These guys are the experts at getting people off the ground. So if you go to the website, which is newchallenger.gg, you'll be greeted with a screen to pick whichever game that you're currently playing. So if you pick Street Fighter, let's say you go ahead and you want to main Ken, which is my favorite character, you can see all of the assets that they have available, as along with a coach that will be available to teach you everything that there is to know about that character. So right now, the current Ken coach that is available is Den Lee. And, you can see his availability, you can see his coaching style, and you can see anything else that he's doing, his Twitter, his Twitch, all of that is available for you guys. Also, you should definitely check out their Twitch channel, New Challenger TV, because they have weekly content on there where they break down different scenarios, and it's all about enriching your knowledge and experience with the fighting game that you are currently playing. I've just recently visited the Discord, and they are currently they do currently have channels for Tekken 7 as well, and I'm pretty sure that the site is going to go through an overhaul. But yeah, go over to newchallenger.gg, get some knowledge, and join the Discord. Let them know that TrueSonic sent you. And as well, you can join in on the bi-weekly tournaments that they hold for all 3 titles, which is freaking amazing that these guys have been continuing to do that. I also want to shout out the owner and founder of the Discord channel, Mr. Vinegar, and also big ups to our good friend Mount Lover, who is not only a coach for Street Fighter 5, but he is a commentator for both Street Fighter 5 and Tekken 7. He just recently commentated and hosted a Tekken 7's tournament yesterday. So that was pretty freaking awesome. New Challenger TV. Go check them out. Get good at any fighting game. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and get on to the long form discussion. And in this week's long form, we want to talk about crossplay. We mentioned it a little bit in the top 5 stories, but crossplay, is it the future or savior, or is it the death knell of console gaming? Let's go ahead and get the discussion going. I personally think. Oh, did you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay, I personally think that cross-platform play is the way to go. And if you remember, I was talking about the current situation when it comes to Xbox and how they're kind of trying to future-proof themselves.
Right.
This is a version of that. This is them, making an Xbox not necessarily about exclusives, but about just having a pleasant experience.
Right.
And crossplay is a part of that, in my opinion.
Right. And what I'm looking at the Xbox One X, we had our discussion about it last week. Mm-hmm. One thing I feel about it is developers have always said consoles are not powerful enough to run the games on PC. That's why many of the PC games don't show up, right?
Right.
And Xbox made this big extra supersized console. I mean, when I say supersized, I'm talking about spec-wise. So it can actually be at least run medium settings for these big PC games. And when you're doing that, now you got these big PC games, and then you allow for cross-platform play. It's just going to lengthen games. Developers love it because they can have a single place to do updates and know that it's going to work fine on PC and it's going to work fine on whatever console it's playing on. And then they can maintain a larger community. When you maintain a larger community, your game lasts longer. You can do microtransactions, which is all the rage. More people into the game for longer periods of time. I think cross-platform play is the next the evolution, the next evolutionary step in gaming, especially from when it went from dumb consoles to these smart online all the time consoles. Mm-hmm. The next step is to let everybody play with everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the only thing is, and we talked about this before as well, is fairness. There's a lot for some genres there is a disadvantage when you're going against, somebody that's playing PC. There's no way in hell that I'm going to convert to keyboard mouse controls, and that precision in shooters is unmatched.
Right.
Like you're not going to get the same precision on a controller ever.
Right.
That's my only real concern with cross-platform play.
Right, but when you look at a lot of the games, I mean, first-person shooters is one of the more popular genres. But when you look at something like a Rocket League, you're looking at something like a Madden, any of the sports games, Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K. When you look at something like any of the fighting games, Street Fighters, the Tekkens, the Injustices. When you look at all of the other stuff that's out there, the MMOs, we talked about Final Fantasy XIV. When you start looking at the strategy games like XCOM. Those games, there's no advantage or disadvantage to using a controller over a keyboard and mouse, and there's plenty of those games out there available.
True.
What's the game you play? Dokapon Kingdom.
Yeah.
Those games would be perfectly fine going cross-platform from console to PC or any other console to console.
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
Damn. So, I would love to see it. I would love to be able to say, hey, look, you know what? It doesn't matter if I have a PlayStation. It doesn't matter if I have an Xbox or a Switch or if I'm playing on PC. I can go and play Trenell in Street Fighter. I can go play with Trenell in Overwatch or whatever game it is, instead of me having to have one title for each particular system.
Right, because that's an argument that we've been having lately. Like, what are we going to get Destiny on?
Right.
Destiny 2, because it's like there's 4 of us. Those 3 of us. There's your brother too,
right.
Marcus, and it's like not everybody has like all the consoles. Like, currently doesn't have an Xbox, so if we got it on Xbox, we'll be able to play with him. And it's
a mess, right?
And you don't want it for PlayStation because reasons.
For PlayStation and your exclusives.
Yeah, so so it's like a give and take,
Right. Right. So
you want to play with your friends, and I honestly think that multi-platform games should be cross-play. I mean, if you have an exclusive, that's yours. Like unless you want to, if it's a console PC or whatever, but especially with the fighting game community, because I was talking to Mount Lover, and like I said, he hosted and commentated on a Tekken 7 tournament yesterday. He said it was the fucking biggest shit show ever.
Oh, why? Because
it's like, number one, like it's not cross compatible, so anybody that has Tekken 7 for consoles wasn't going to be able to enter. So that's one problem right there. And they did the PC version, and like it's just they just don't make it easy for you to be able to communicate with other people outside of like adding them to your friends list and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like individual issues with Tekken 7's setup as far as online is concerned. But I feel like the biggest thing is there's no crossplay, so it's like you have to have the PC version,
right? Or you're left out.
Or you're left out. Like depending on what kind of tournament they're going to run. And the same thing goes for Injustice. I mean, there's no crossplay, right. So it's like, okay, so we want to run a tournament. What console are we going to do it on?
Right. And
like how many entrants are we going to get?
Right.
Like it causes a real disconnect in what is already a very small community. The fighting game genre is super small, man.
That's what I was getting ready to say. When you get into these niche genres like fighting games, games like Rocket League, that's super niche. I mean, Overwatch is huge. They don't necessarily need cross-platform game, but some of these smaller games and these smaller genres, they need cross-platform play, and it'd be in their benefit to have cross-platform play, because Street Fighter V is doing so well, because even though it's a PlayStation exclusive, they do allow cross-play with PC, so the size of the community is much bigger than
and that's the entire whoever has Street Fighter V, you're a part of the entire community. It's not fragmented. There isn't 3 and 4 versions, and and the thing with going to tournaments, it's like, oh god, what controller do I bring? Like, are they hosting Xbox tournament? Are they hosting a PlayStation tournament? What if my freaking fight stick or my gamepad isn't compatible with that console? It's something that you need to think about.
Right. It just adds an extra layer of complexity that's not necessarily
needed. So I really, really think for the fighting game genre, it's damn near required.
Right.
Like in this day and age, because we have a couple of big big fighting games coming out in the very near future with Marvel Infinite and the Dragon Ball Z game. Like, I want to get good at Dragon Ball Fighters, and it's gonna really suck if whatever console I get it on, like if I get it for Xbox or whatever, if that player base is super small because everybody else got it on PlayStation or whatever. Right. And a lot of these developers are coming out and saying, yes, we are in support of cross-platform play, because that's how you gain a community, and that's how you keep the game going for years.
That's how you sell copies, because if you look at it this way, so most people would say, well, if it's cross-platform play, people that aren't going to buy multiple copies, but people don't buy multiple copies.
I don't buy multiple copies of games.
what actually happens is people don't buy it. So like if we're looking like me, the Destiny 2 issue, you have an Xbox. Let's say I have it on Xbox, you get it on PlayStation 4, and O gets it on PC. We can't play with each other. So what's going to happen is like, you know what? We're not going to be able to play with each other. So we're not going to get Destiny 2. Let's get something else that we can actually play with each other, right? So that's where it falls. That's where that argument falls apart. Is less likely that people are going to buy a game when they can't play with their friends. They're not going to go out and buy. I don't expect O to run out and go buy a Xbox to play Destiny.
No.
So I don't. It's more likely that people will buy a game when they can play with the people they want to play with,
right?
Regardless of what system they are having, because again, these systems aren't cheap. I mean, even right now, what Xbox and PlayStations are $250, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, Xbox is $250. To get a decent gaming PC, you're looking at about five bills. So I mean, Nintendo Switch is $300. If nobody's going to go spend $60 on a game and then go pay another $250 for a system to go play with their friend. A lot of people don't have it that way. So you're losing sales by locking into one specific platform.
Yeah, and it's been something that's been possible since the previous generation. I remember there was a couple of cross-platform games for the 360 and PC.
MMOs, right? A couple of MMOs.
A couple of MMOs, a couple of third person shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the technology has been there, man, and I really think that with the insurgence of new gamers, and with the rise of esports, it's like it's a necessity.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
when you go to a tournament, when these there's a stadium being built, not far from where we live.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of gamers that are going to want to come and compete and get good at these games. And when they go to a convention center or a hall and they don't have the controller or the console that's being used, like that just ruins it. Ruins
the entire experience. Yep.
It ruins the entire experience. Yeah, it's like, oh well, this tournament that we're holding is for the PlayStation 4 version.
Right.
Well, I play on Xbox. Well, you're out of luck, bro.
You're out of luck, right? And on top of that, people that pick a particular platform, and I've said this many times, I like Xbox. I like their community and their network a little bit better than what Sony has. But the main reason I picked Xbox over PlayStation is because I like the controller. It's more comfortable in my hand than the PlayStation one is. Then that's my personal opinion, my personal preference. But that is a reason why I would choose something. And somebody that's going to be competitive and they want the controller that's going to be right for them. They want it comfortable. They want it to be precise. And if they feel that the PlayStation controller is better than Xbox, Xbox is better than PlayStation, what have you, they're going to want to play on that system. And it's going to be a big deal for them to go to a tournament and expecting to play on their system of choice and having to play on a system that they're not used to. Yeah. It's a bad experience.
Yeah, like every time I went to MagFest, I would always have like a little backpack full of controllers because I never knew what system it was gonna be on or whatever. Yeah. So, but I think that this is nothing but nothing short of a necessity, because then when you go to these big events, they could just run the PC version, which is normally the best version, and then all the controllers are compatible. I mean, there's even been word that the Switch Pro controller that's compatible with
PC. Yep, we can plug it in.
So so it's like you have your controller of choice. There's no more spending hundreds of dollars on these controller mods where because I've had modded controllers in the past where an Xbox controller is compatible with PlayStation or whatever.
You flip the little switch on the back.
Yes, flip the switch. Yeah, but that shit's expensive, man. Don't nobody got time for all that.
Right, exactly. And so then my next question to this is, we know there's only one holdout, right? Because we know Nintendo's playing ball, Microsoft's playing ball.
They've been playing ball,
right? And PC
they invented the ball,
right? And PC is the open platform, right? So it's up to the developer to make their game cross-plat, and we know the developers are in. There's only one person. There's one company holding out, and that's PlayStation. They gave a lame excuse, talking about how they want to secure their network and their players and protect their players. First off, Sony, please.
Your network has been unsecured without cross-platform play, boys.
How many times have you been hacked? I mean, how many times has Nintendo's network, hell, Steam or Microsoft been down for a month because people couldn't log in, right? So I don't want to hear this security and all of that nonsense. It's nonsense. They're holding on to their market lead, right? They feel if they allow cross-platform play, they're going to lose an advantage. And I
don't even know how they can possibly think that because they have the exclusives.
Right, that's what I was going to say. In my opinion, Sony's advantage is they have all the games. I think their worry is they won't have all the games as much anymore because, again, this Final Fantasy XIV, that is currently a PlayStation console exclusive, right?
Right.
But if they open the door for cross-platform play, it no longer will be a console exclusive. I mean, they'll start losing those type of exclusives. But to be quite honest, I don't know anybody that's bought a PlayStation 4 for Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, as long as they continue to pump out these first-party titles, like the Insomniac Spider-Man and Uncharted and the Horizon and that stuff, and they'll be fine. They can maintain their market lead, and also, again, this may be an issue where people aren't buying PlayStation because of a certain reason. Now they will buy PlayStation, So I mean, it's.
I really feel like consoles are meant. Like when you go out and buy a console, the thing that you should think, the only real things only real things you should be thinking about is the exclusive titles that aren't going to be on any other platform,
right?
And then where your friends are.
Exactly.
And if your friends are on PlayStation, then of course you're going to play
Right.
PlayStation. You're going to continue to play on the PlayStation.
Yep, exactly.
So I don't really understand their reasoning behind not going cross-platform just fails on every level.
Many levels. Agree. And hopefully they get the act together, because I think if they continue to be the lone holdout as more and more games come out and people on Nintendo, Microsoft, and PC can play with each other, and Sony is the lone person on the island all by themselves, it's going to cost them, because people are going to then say, hey, look, Sony, I would love to play, but my cousin has a Switch, I have an Xbox, and we can play Rocket League together.
Right.
So
and that's going to be the thing.
Right.
It's gonna put PlayStation in the same situation that Nintendo was in the previous couple of generations,
Yep.
where they are just the oddball out there doing their own thing.
Yep.
So those guys will be fine, doing their own thing, inside of their very small version of the community, while
Right.
everybody else is, interconnected.
But another thing that came to mind, and that comes to mind, and this was pointed out by Naoki Yoshida when he was talking about the cross-platform play, is that if you do the cross-platform play, there's one upgrade, there's one update, just like with the Minecraft.
Oh,
When they do just one update, it'll wind up costing them titles in the long run, because these developers say, hey, I can make it for PC, Nintendo, and Xbox, same development cycle, and then whenever I do my updates, I just do one update and it pushes out to all of them, because they're using a shared engine. And then Sony's just sitting over there by themselves.
Either not just waiting or not getting it.
Right. I'm not. Why bother with it? Because now it's the same boat, like you said, Nintendo was in, where Sony, like last generation, Sony and Microsoft got closer to being able to develop for each other. I mean, actually, this gen, I'm sorry, last gen was the PC. It was a mess. But this gen, the development side, they basically both run off a PowerPC, right? And so the development cycle, I'm sorry, x86. So the development cycle is pretty easy, right? So if now you got to do something special to develop for PlayStation, and you got to do something special to push them updates, that's more money, that's more cost to the developers and the publishers. And money talks. At the end of the day, I'm like, look, it's going to cost me an extra 10 people and 100 man hours to do with the PlayStation, and the community is not strong enough. I'm not going to bother.
Not going to support it. Yeah, it just won't be supported.
Yep, I can do it one time here, and it's going to go across all three platforms, and the community is vibrant. So I see it being a problem if and only if more developers and games come out with this cross-platform play.
Yeah, we need more support for it from the developer studios. That's what we need.
Yep,
their word is pretty much bond.
Right.
If it's what they want.
Is what they're going to get it.
Is what they're going to get.
At the end of the day, a console is nothing without games.
No, it's not. And Sony, they have a lot of exclusives, but they don't have enough exclusive to outweigh the amount of third-party support.
Exactly.
And they might put themselves in a Sega Dreamcast situation where they don't have any fucking third-party support, and that's going to be terrible for Sony.
That'll be a problem, because the only platform that's been able to maintain themselves with no third-party support is Nintendo, because they have the IPs. They got Zelda.
They have the IPs, and they have the history.
Yep. But Sony doesn't really have that. I mean, they have what, Uncharted? I mean, you only do Uncharted so many times, right?
Yeah, they've pretty much gotten rid of a lot of their legacy titles, like the Crash Bandicoots and the stuff that actually put them on the map and made them really popular. A lot of those titles, have bitten the dust,
or went multi-platform. Final Fantasy, GTA, which were for a while
for a long
exclusives. Time. Yep. So
we'll see, man. I really think it'll be beneficial if Sony played ball, but like you keep saying. They're the industry leader. They don't feel like that they need to is unnecessary, but they're going to isolate themselves.
Right.
And we all know, us Sega fanboys know all too well what happens when you isolate yourselves.
Yep.
So hopefully they'll get their act together. I mean, it'll be nothing but a good thing for us gamers, and if gamers have the freedom to game, they're gonna, they're gonna spend that cash.
They're gonna go where the games are at, and like we've said, if I know I can pick up a game and play on, I know if I can pick up a game on my Xbox and play with all my friends that's on Xbox, PC, and Nintendo, I'm gonna want one of those three systems.
Right, and it's like even the people that are sticklers for graphics or whatever, or resolution or whatever.
You have your PC version.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, on the console side until the Scorpio comes out.
Oh, right, exactly.
The PlayStation is still like the quote unquote better looking version or whatever, runs at a higher resolution, whatever. So even for those people, you still supposedly. I'm not talking about the Pro. I'm talking about between the OG ones. I don't know, because that's what I have. I have a OG PlayStation 4 and an OG Xbox One. So, I don't know. I think this is nothing but a good thing. I think it's probably like the best thing for gamers, since fucking backwards compatibility became a thing.
And I think again, it's going to make those games that are clearly in a niche,
explode.
That's currently locked on one platform, or I'm sorry, not necessarily locked, but gated between platforms where there's a PS4 community, the Xbox community, the PC community, and so on. When you open that up, those games are going to last a lot longer, and it's just going to bring that community together. And when you bring people together, it shows you how strong a community or an IP is. I can see where there's IPs now that that are on a back burner because they didn't sell well in the silos. They didn't sell well on PlayStation. They didn't sell well on Xbox. They didn't sell well on PC. But when you add it all together, it's a strong, vibrant community that will be able to support sequels and continuing content.
Right. But we will see. We will see, man. They have to actually make it a thing. Well, I mean, they've already done it with a few titles. I mean, but. You're not going to stop Minecraft from doing anything. Minecraft is the industry leader right now.
They are the steamroller that's rolling over everything.
Yeah,
turn them into 8-bit blocks.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks and months, and we'll definitely be here to discuss it and talk about it with you guys over in the chat. But I think we can go ahead and end on that note and move on to our next segment, which is our final thoughts. The final thoughts is where we revisit the stories from today and just give like our last 2 cents on them. So, Boogie, would you like to start with your final thoughts?
Yeah. One, it's nice to see that esports and just gaming in general is really going mainstream. We got NBC, we got ESPN, we got the Turner's channels, and there's going to be more coming. I like free stuff, so I am a Amazon Prime member. I'm an Amazon Prime subscriber, so I get Twitch Prime. I got my 2. That's right, and yeah, I think I said it earlier, but you get, if you have the game on multiple platforms, you get it for each.
Right.
That's cool. Project Rabbit, it'd be cool for them to get funded traditionally, maybe. The Steam Summer Sale, man, just stay out of my pockets, please. Pokemon Go, I talked about it, I really don't care.
Right.
Sega For Ever, just I'm asking for, if you don't bring any other game, just My Hero. I want that. I really, really want My Hero.
I have to go back and see what that is. I've never heard of that.
Oh, that game is so awesome.
Yeah, Master System was before my time.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
Then the Call of Duty remaster, yeah, whatever. Rockstar, good on you for maybe taking Take-Two down a notch. I know Take-Two is your boss, but I mean, Grand Theft Auto is, that's your game, and I'm glad that you went out to kind of try to protect your community as best you could.
There's only so without mods, what the hell are they gonna do in that game, man? Right. They had to put that shit down like I did.
Right. And then Naoki Yoshida is he's on to something. I mean, cross-platform play is the next wave. I think it's the wave of the future. It's where all the gaming should go.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, NBC jumping into esports, that's just, them following the money. I think NBC is owned by Comcast right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Comcast bought those guys a little while ago. So they're just going where the money is, and the money right now is in esports. Same thing with Twitch and Blizzard, teaming up to broadcast Overwatch, and it's really cool that they're giving away free loot. I mean, because if you're a dirty casual like us, you don't get a lot of loot boxes because you're just not playing, you're not leveling. So this is actually really good for people that aren't super into the game.
I've reached level 200.
God damn, dog. Shit.
I'm 200. I know that. I mean, I see people that's like 4 or 5, the silver bars or whatever. But hey, I think that's I got the little wings now. I got the bronze wings. I'm happy about that.
Well, good on you. If I can find my Overwatch, I'll be more than happy to have you carry me through some matches.
No, wait, on okay. PlayStation, I'm only 25. I'm 200 on Xbox.
Okay, I might have to. I don't want to, but I think I'm gonna have to repurchase that game. But whatever. Rap Rabbit. I mean, I'm not a fan of the genre. I've never been a fan of Parappa the Rapper because I wasn't a PlayStation guy back in the day. But I mean, it has a huge following. I would like for those guys to get, a new game in that style. So hopefully they can find funding somewhere else. Hopefully this isn't the end of Project Rap Rabbit. The Steam Summer Sale, they've already got me twice. I bought some indie titles. Hopefully I'll find some time to play them. They won't just sit on my freaking hard drive forever. The Pokemon Go update, not exciting for me, but very exciting for those that are still currently playing. I mean, it's summertime. People are going to go out, and catch all those legendaries. So good on you for that. Really, really thinking about getting a controller peripheral for my freaking phone for those Sega For Ever games.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
The Sega games, they did mention that they are compatible with controllers.
Yeah, they mentioned that. So I'm thinking about getting that because then I could just play Sega games like with a controller. That'd be the dopest thing ever. I just gotta look into the peripherals. I don't even know how much they cost.
Don't the new Xbox One controllers have Bluetooth? Am I wrong on that? No, I'm wrong on that. I'm sure.
I was about to say, if I could plug my freaking Xbox controller, it's like wirelessly to my phone, that'd be dope. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into something. Cross-platform is the future, and Mr. Yoshida is definitely on to something, along with a lot of other developers. So I'm looking forward to a lot of cross-platform games here in the near future. I think it's a little too late for Call of 4 remaster. I think that everybody that already wanted it already has it. They bit the bullet and paid the $90. So releasing it now is kind of just like, man, whatever. It's gonna sit on somebody's hard drive for forever. And good on Rockstar for siding with the modders and the modding community. I have to think that it's a very huge part of what GTA 5 is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, to stand up for that, means a lot, because they could have easily just allowed Take-Two to, destroy what those guys had, and just kind of just like break apart a massive community. And I don't think that Rockstar is about that. You want to keep you playing their games because they're not going to make another one for 10 years.
That's right. So
go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll do it after. Finish. Sorry.
Oh no, that was it. That was my final thoughts.
So there is an Xbox One controller with Bluetooth support. Apparently, if you have one that has plastic on the face that's going around the, so you know how the bumper has the different black plastic.
Yeah.
If that goes down to around the Xbox guide button, it has Bluetooth support.
Oh, I'm guessing this one doesn't. Are you looking at this one? Can you see that one?
No, that one should. If it looks like that one should. I'm looking at the picture. That one should have Bluetooth support.
Oh shit! We about to get busy on some free Sega games here in a minute.
Now, how to get it working on your phone, I don't know, but it does have Bluetooth support. It definitely works with PCs. So yeah.
I will definitely look into that. But yeah, that's going to be our show. Our current schedule is on Sundays. We go live at 7 p.m. Eastern, with the show going up on YouTube and your favorite podcasting app on the following Monday at 12 noon Eastern time. That's our current schedule. So if you're watching us live, thank you to our Twitch viewers, our Facebook viewers. We're also streaming on YouTube and on Mixer, so big up to all you guys that watched us live. And let us know what you think down in the comments section if you're watching this on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting app. You can rate us, you can leave us any kind of suggestions. We take all of your comments and suggestions to heart, and we will take them into consideration. But yeah, we're trying to grow. We've been doing this for a year. And I feel like we've gotten some kind of a stride going, so we want to keep the channels and keep this community growing. So big ups to you guys, and we just want to thank you all for tuning in. Before we get up out of here, Boogie, why don't you let them know exactly where they can listen to us if they want to listen to us on the go?
We're on iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn Radio. We're in the general podcasting directory. So any podcatcher, if you use something like Overcast or the iTunes Podcaster, or if you use the Cast app on Xbox, you can find us, a weekly gaming news show, or by call letters AWGNS.
Right.
Go to iTunes, go to Google Play, rate us, leave us a comment. Again, we do like your feedback. We'll take it to heart. Even if you just leave in the comments a weekly icebreaker you want us to go over, a long form discussion, we'll take a look at it. And if it's something we haven't done or something that we feel fit to show, we definitely will do it.
Definitely. We are on Twitter at AWGamingNS. We are on Facebook as well, a weekly gaming news show, or you can use the call letters AWGNS. Our YouTube URL that we're currently using, because we don't have a custom one, is tinyurl.com/AWGamingNS. Subscribe. We have the weekly 10 and 10 that goes up on there every week. That kind of gives you a snippet of what the podcast is going to hold. And every time I get a chance, I like to try to upload something there. We also do unboxings for things that we deem worthy. So, yeah. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Xbox One X unboxing will be up there for sure.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, that's right.
And the Switch unboxing. Like, nah, I'm not getting that shit. It's already out.
I guess, yeah, but I'll be getting a Switch. A couple.
Yeah, I mean, when Splatoon 2 comes out, I'll be getting. That's a story for another time. But thank you all again. Shouts out to our sponsor, New Challenger TV. Go to the New Challenger Discord. And get good at fighting games. And I think we're going to go ahead and end it there. We are your hosts. My name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And we will catch you guys next week.
Peace.